Funding for the following program has been provided by this station and other public television stations, and by a grant from the Chubb Group of Insurance Companies.
Someone in the studio audience who has seen my guest tonight, I have not, said to hold on to my hat. Since I have no hat, I'm not sure what to hold on to, but I am not really sure how to introduce my guest tonight. He is essentially a stand-up comic, but with a difference. He does most of his work in address. Charles Pierce is, I would say, thought by those in the know to be perhaps the best female impressionist in the business. He has filled the late-hour clubs on both coasts year after year with his deft and hilarious impersonations. He has a great following. Tonight, Charles Pierce brings us a sampling of his simulated stars, starting with, and I can't help but smile to think that there are probably people who are just turning on their sets as I say this. Here is Miss Katharine Hepburn. Very nice to see you, and how lovely you are dressed.
Thank you. I never forget to go to the Met, but I always shop at Alexander's.
Well,
I jogged here.
you did?
Yes.
Well, I'd never know it from your footgear, but it's quite lovely. Are you in any sense in costume for anything?
No, I just wear this
particular?
through Central Park all the time. It's Lion in Winter, Dickie.
Oh, of course, of course.
Remember, you played Richard the Lion-Hearted. You've forgotten
I don't know how that
already.
could have slipped my memory.
You've also forgotten to change this goddamn rug. Look at it. It's a drop cloth from Michelangelo, they told me.
Well, I'm sure we can do something about that. I wish we'd known before. What can I talk to you about? You've done so many, many things, and I know that your career is quite remarkable in every way. Have you ever realized that in some cases you've done more than one film that had to do with water? I was thinking of African Queen, Golden
yes.
Pond.
No one you'd know, though.
No, I say where the theme or the setting has to do with water.
Oh, on Golden Pond. Yes, I played a senior citizen's Jane Fonda in the picture,
In the
yes.
picture.
But I'm also now on Broadway in the West Side Waltz. Not to be confused with West Side Story, you know.
No, that had a lot of singing and dancing and gangs in it.
You're
and
a
stuff
jet
like-
all the way. Oh, you know what I... What do I know? I'm in my 70s.
You're certainly in somebody's 70s.
I wish I were in my hair salon right now. I really do.
It's quite becoming and an example of your independent spirit, I think, to wear your hair that
We
way.
could sit down, I suppose.
Shall we?
I know.
Would you like that? I invite you. We have
Well, I
to-
could jog over, I guess.
Yes.
It's the train. It's this super chief that just annoys me.
Yes, they're
and you
never on-
remember the last time I was here, Dickie? Sure you do. You gave me a coffee table to put my feet up on.
That's right,
Don't you
yes.
remember? And may I remove my wimple?
Well, no one's ever asked me that before. I hope so, yes.
Thank you. It hides a multitude of hairstyling, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's quite all right. By the way, we sold that coffee table at the PBS auction that you had your feet on. It
For
brought-
how much?
I think it was $65 plus tax.
I went cheap, didn't I?
For the first time, I hope.
I've got a joke I could put in there, but I don't know about Channel 13. It doesn't matter, does it, really?
We're on other channels in some towns, so you could try it on those. But I tell you, I must say that I missed, but I heard wonderful things about you and Glass Menagerie.
The Glass Menagerie. Oh, that dumb daughter Laura, do you mean?
Yeah.
You must remember Laura in the Glass Menagerie, a dummy. Oh, God, she'd be doing crossword puzzles, filling in the black spaces.
Really?
No. She thought euthanasia were students visiting Tokyo. She was stupid.
Yeah.
Didn't know the difference between escargot and boogers. I mean, she was
A real dummy.
oh, yeah, and ugly.
Yeah.
Laura was ugly. She would look in a river, it would flow the other way.
Now that, I bet she had a face that would stop sundials.
She did. The shadows came to a screeching halt. Just like that.
Who does your hair? Anybody?
A curb. A curb does my hair. I'm over here, you know, on 49th Street. That's where I live. And I lie on the curb every day. When 100 tourists walk over me, I get up and come on to work.
You're quite an old gal.
Well, thank you. I wish I could say the same for you, but... I guess I could go now. We've got other people waiting.
Oh, we do have. Well, I know you don't want to, outdo yourself in the sense of staying on too long. That's probably your theatrical instinct working there, isn't it?
Well,
right.
the West Side Waltz, I play the piano, and Dorothy Loudon's on the violin. We're really cooking down at the Barrymore Theater. Plug. And, but I do have a date with my hairstylist. I let the other one go, and I hated him.
Really?
Hated him. May his body be washed up on Fire Island, licked to death by toy poodles. Oh, that guy. That guy. I'd better go now.
I think that would probably be good to get off
you
on.
may help me up,
Oh,
please.
I'm
No, I'll help you up. Yes, thank you, Dick.
certainly
I'll be
will.
right back as someone else. So stick around. Funding by Bette Davis. I don't know.
Well, now, in lightning speed, I would now like to introduce someone who, for legal purposes, I think I probably will not use her name. But here is my dear friend, the star of All About Eve.
Why not?
It's your hand I was trying to kiss there.
Thank you.
Would you like to sit down, Miss...
Thank you.
Yes.
Then you do know who I am. How nuts.
I believe I do. I was going to say you're taller than I remember you, but then I don't remember you, so...
I'm wearing all new legs.
Well, the left one is quite lovely, I must say.
And the other one matches.
How do they manage that? I can't help notice that you're still smoking.
Always.
Yes.
They say for every cigarette you smoke, you lose 2 minutes off your life. I probably should call my doctor and tell him I died 50 years ago. And drink.
And drink, too.
Oh, yes. They say I have a drinking problem. Ha! I have no problem drinking at all.
I've never heard any such rumor about you, but There is one that I would like to clarify. Since I was a tiny boy...
We'll talk about that.
Yes. Since I remember a rivalry, supposedly, between you and the great Tallulah Bankhead.
Pity.
Was there...
She's dead. But she will not lie down. It's true. Tallulah and I. Always at each other.
Yes, I wonder why.
Because we hated each other. We loathed, we despised each other.
Oh, well, I'm glad you cleared that up. I had heard there was bad feeling.
Now, here we are, Dick, you and I, at a glamorous cocktail party in Hollywood. In comes Tallulah, looks at me and says, Betty, either you're... Betty? Either you're putting on weight or my eyeballs are getting fat. You were standing in the doorway with the light behind you. I thought you were Orson Welles. Now, how would you react to that?
Well, I think probably with chagrin. I hope you...
And temper.
And temper. I hope you managed chagrin and temper simultaneously.
I said, Tallulah, yes, you. Your face, you've outlived your skin. You look like you were born on a chenille bedspread. Then I really let her have it. I said, Tallulah, it's either moisturizer or wood filler.
Oh.
You've got the knife in. Turn it.
You do have... This is a side of you I had never suspected.
Would you like to see the other side?
No.
I'd love a cigarette, Dick.
Well,
Do you have a cigarette for me?
I wish I had one because...
Curses.
It's really become a butt, hasn't it?
Please, that's the other side.
Oh. Yeah, well,
Is
then,
there no one who can supply us with a cigarette?
Well, I should think there isn't too unreasonable a demand. Could anyone
mind.
come up with... us gentlemen right now. Just give me a heave.
Oh, that's my dear friend from the village who's come all the way to the west side. How nice. For him. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that the correct way to hand a cigarette to a lady?
If you wish. You mean the butt towards me?
Yeah, well, I hate to put it that way. Now, I would like to talk to you about.
I could possibly get a hernia this way.
I thought only...
They have a hernia.
I thought only men got hernias, but does anyone have a match of some sort?
Looks like a Bic coming our way, folks.
Oh, here's a
Stand
lovely...
by. Careful, this is cheap, you know. I could go up like that.
You'd never know. What goes up must come down.
I've heard. Sometimes rather disastrously.
I must tell you how much I liked you in, was it another part of the forest?
Beyond
the forest. I always confuse those two things.
The big line. What a dump. Remember?
What a dump. Yes, of course. That's what that came
I
from.
was at a horrible town called Kansas City, New Mexico, where I lived.
Yes.
The tide went out one day and never came back. The Avon lady was Polish. Instead of ringing your doorbell, she would tinkle on your front lawn.
No!
I am not even finished on that town. I haven't started. The one female impersonator was a woman.
They couldn't afford a man?
Debbie Reynolds.
Well, of course, everybody thinks of you synonymously with All About Eve, almost as if you had never made any other pictures sometimes. But you, in fact, were Eve.
No, that was not Eve. In All About Eve was Anne Baxter. I was Margot Channing.
Oh, I must catch this picture sometime.
I think you ought to catch Anne Baxter. I remember the scene you're talking about. I was in this parked car with Celestial Home. Oh, we can both mess up, can't we?
Yes, it
with
seems
Celeste Home. It was out on the lonely road in Connecticut, and Celeste had drained the gas tank. So I, Margot, would be late arriving at the theater. My understudy, Eve, would go on. Of course, I can't tell you how she drained the gas tank, but her breath smelled of low lead. I remember I had that speech. Would you like it? It's about 1.5 minutes. Do you want the speech? Would you like it?
I want it. Whether I'd like it or not, of course, remains to be seen, doesn't
Then you're
it?
going to get it. I remember I flipped my ashes and I turned rather plaintively, I thought, to Karen, if one turns to someone plaintively. And I said, Karen. Oh, by the way, I was in a car that had a piano in the back seat. I think that's Connecticut rich. I turned to Karen and I said, you know, Karen, funny business, a woman's career. The things you drop on your way up the ladder so you can move faster. You forget you'll need them again when you get back to being a woman. And one thing all females have in common is being a woman. Sooner or later, we're going to have to work at it. And whether we like it or not, no matter how many other careers we've had or wanted. And in the last analysis, nothing matters. Unless you can look up just before dinner or turn around in bed, and there he is. Without that, you're not a woman. Something with a French provincial office or a book full of clippings. But you're not a woman. Slow curtain, the end. By the way, Joan, J.C. is lurking off stage.
Good.
Shall we bring her on?
Would you alert her?
I shall.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
There. Now in our gallery of whatever it is, I would like you to meet a lady who has won the title Mother of the Year, and it's just another title in the many, many honors that have come her way in her long cinema career. It's added to that, a crown, you might say, on her head. Will you welcome then, without a doubt, the Mother of the Year?
Uh-oh. And here she comes. No more wire hangers, ever. Forget it. Hello.
How are you?
I'm Mommy Dearest,
Yes, you are, aren't you?
movie star.
You've been one of my favorites. Not my only one, but one for many, many years, I must say. Many, many, many years.
My lips could dismantle a tractor.
And the driver, I expect.
I'm a disciplinarian.
Yes, I can see that. What do you plan to do with that?
Dirt.
Oh,
What? I hate dirt.
I didn't say anything.
I didn't think you did, because you weren't supposed to. You see, I'm looking for Christina. I just whipped a girl named Christina, and now that little witch is making herself rich off me. Now I chase her. Do you? Yes, now I chase her.
certainly seemed like a nice fella, didn't he? Whew. If you would welcome the gentleman himself, Charles Pierce. Let's see. Well, I'm sorry you missed the earlier part of our show.
I hear it was quite
You wouldn't
strange.
believe. You wouldn't believe what was out here before you came.
Great stars, Betty and
Yeah.
Tallulah and Katharine.
How are they getting on backstage?
They've all left. They had the limos waiting. They all took off separately, of course.
Did you do this as a kid? How was it
all
born?
started? Well, I go way back. I started doing impressions of Brenda and Cobina on the Bob Hope radio show. And, well, someone said, oh, remember Brenda and Cobina? And Vera Vague, oh, yoo-hoo, Mr. Hope, a sailor.
I remember that.
Am I the only one on Earth who remembers Vera Vague?
No, you definitely are not. Or if you, or I'm the other one. if
You're
there
the
are
other
only
one.
two
Well, I
of us.
remember Irene Beasley. We'll probably remember
Vague.
Richard Lou.
Oh, yeah.
Your American imperialists must die.
No,
Let me hear yours.
That's Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, that Jimmy.
Yes, my Richard Lou is
May I hear
unsurpassable.
it? I've been working for you
Do
all
you
day.
really want to know?
I'd love to hear Richard Lou, yeah.
I must remind you, Captain, that a chain is no stronger than its weaker strength.
God, Anime Wong. Sorry, folks.
No, that was Anna Mae White.
No, I think Carmen Miranda was the first one. Mother had a bowl of plastic fruit on the piano or whatever, and I was doing, South American way, and I did Mae West as a 9-year-old going off to school, and then I took a long break and went into radio and Pasadena Playhouse, going to be an actor, we'd jump ahead 15 years, and then all of a sudden I realized I could do a nightclub act and be paid every Sunday night rather than once every year as an actor. For 27 years, I've been doing the nightclub circuits.
Did you say you did Mae West as a 9-year-old or Mae
Yeah.
West as a 9-year-old?
I did Mae West as a 9-year-old.
A 9-year-old Mae West?
Yeah, well, no, wait a minute. Yeah,
No.
you're right. Now you're twisting my
When you were
words.
9, you did Mae West.
Honey, when I was 9, I did Mae West. Yeah, that's right. That Mae
That was
West.
the- yeah, yeah.
I've always said that sex is a misdemeanor. The more you misdemeanor you get.
Is that an actual line of hers?
No,
no,
my
but
mother
that's-
gave that to me. Mother gives me lots of lines.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, they're all coming out on their own, too, right now, I think.
Did your mother live on to see your success?
Well,
as
Mother's
a,
probably watching us right now in Watertown, New York.
Really? But you grew up down in California?
Watertown, New York.
Well, how'd you get to Pasadena Playhouse and all
A
that?
covered wagon. Mule train. No, I really
won't
have to-
ask you what it was covered with.
we're
but,
going way back to late 40s.
Yeah.
And very late. And that's when I graduated from the Playhouse and
I see.
then painted flats in summer stock and then in the late 50s went into nightclubs.
Why do you like to be called an impressionist rather than a female impersonator?
Well, because I'm doing impressions of those stars rather than impersonator. Female impersonator is someone who dresses up as a woman who he would be his alter ego. And I think that's a female impersonator.
His aim is simply to appear to be a woman.
As a
rather than
woman,
any
like if I
particular-
suddenly pounced on you and gave you big red lips and eyelashes and a wig and sent you on your way, you'd say, oh, look, there goes a female impersonator.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'd like it.
But I never tried that. I don't know. I shouldn't knock it.
I'll come back.
Was Carmen Miranda your very first? And because
Carmen
of the
and
wax
Mae West,
food
yes.
yeah.
Mhm. And the very first person, well, it all starts strangely. I mean, I'm in someone's apartment in North Hollywood, California, in the 50s, and there's a Mexican hat and a serape, and they had just come back from Mexico, and for some reason, Eleanor Roosevelt was on TV, and we were going as Eleanor, Olay, Olay, any old lay. And I have the serape, and Franklin, I've just returned from the Philippines, where I congratulated the people in Manila on their envelopes. So someone laughed, and I said, hey, this is going to be showbiz for me.
And a star was born at that moment, apparently.
A star, and that's a big ball of gas, yes.
Star is, isn't it? No one
Star
ever-
is a big ball of gas.
They never point that out. Is there something about your face that makes it adaptable to these various women? Because you don't resemble, obviously, any of them as you sit here now, but you do a lot of it with facial.
Yes, the
muscle
only makeup
contortion.
change I ever did was the slash across here when Bette Davis comes on. The rest is all the same.
You use the same makeup, in fact.
You know, when
same eyebrows, same.
Yeah, everything. I mean, right from the top of the show, I do a batch of blondes like Mae West or Carol Channing, darling. Carol, how absolutely marvelous to be here on Dick Cavett's show in New York. Thank you, Dick. Thank you.
But it's uncanny, because you seem to use your teeth differently for each one, and
Well, I have different
changed.
teeth, but they kind of move around. They really do.
I don't believe you for one second. Is it true that you were the, my spies tell me that you were the one who got Margot Fontaine and Nureyev in trouble at a party one time?
Well, they got themselves into trouble. That was the pot party raid in San Francisco about 1966, 67, right?
Made all the papers.
Yeah, they got tremendous international publicity, and I escaped across the rooftops, and I didn't get a damn thing. I didn't, they got all the news that was fit to print about them, yeah.
There's a wonderful still photo of Nureyev sitting imperiously on the bench waiting to be processed in the police station with a couple of winos on either side.
And he was singing San Francisco, open your door, because I followed them to the police station, you see. I jumped in a car and followed them. Yeah. And when Margot was being taken away in her paddy wagon, all the people that she was picked up with were singing, "There is nothing like a dame." Oh, they were having a wonderful time. And there was only one joint that was being passed around the party that I know of. But anyway.
But your audience, is it I'm sure you understand what I mean by this, a cross-section of people? Or
Another perfect question,
you
yes.
tend to have
Mixed. I have a mixed audience.
Yeah.
Of people that like to laugh.
Yeah. Can you do Dolly Parton?
Well, not right now. If your producer has a couple of balloons, no.
I was at a club with her and some other people called La Cage aux Folles in California.
Oh, yes, sure.
And a guy named Busty, I think, came on and did Dolly Parton with Dolly Parton sitting there, and the audience went berserk, of course, because they had seen her come
yeah.
on.
Busty O'Shea.
Busty
right.
O'Shea, that's right, yeah.
Right, and...
Dolly gave him her earrings, in fact, an appreciation.
And I'm sure he kept them, yes.
Oh, yeah, in the vault.
The only people, Carol Channing's been in the audience that I've had to do her voice for, and Angela Lansbury. In the good old days of nightclubs in San Francisco, we used to do like a pantomime show, and I would do live material at the end.
Yeah.
And we did a whole 20-minute salute to Angela pantomime.
With her sitting there.
With her in the audience,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if anyone's ever flattered by seeing him or herself impersonated, but I think in a way they are, and at the same time they're...
Well, she enjoyed it, yeah, and she and I have you know, corresponded and been very close.
Charles, we've run out of time. There's only time to say Michael Biaggi.
At the piano.
And unless I identify him as the pianist, it would be silly just to say that, wouldn't it?
And the man that puts me together is Michael Stanley. He's back there with his zippers, and he's the dresser off-Broadway that you now have the play on.
The lightning
dresser.
speed
yes,
man.
It's been a great pleasure.
It's a pleasure having you here, Charles Pierce. Thank you. Come again soon.
Funding for the Dick Cavett Show has been provided by this station and other public television stations